Okay, let's get started. Now, what I want to talk to you today about is this new threat, this new terrorist. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I'm in the woods. Yeah, it's true. There are some Muslim terrorists in the world, and they're fully willing to strap a bomb on their chest and die for Islam. However, there's this other threat, and it comes from the Christian hard right. Now, if you ever read the Bible, which I have, the very last chapter is the book of Revelations. Now, in the book of Revelations, it basically talks about the supposed end of the world and how God comes back to eradicate all the imposter Jews from Israel and blah 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 blah. Long story short, the book of Revelations is indeed a false prophecy. Leviticus 18. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, I am the Lord, your God. Do not follow the practices of the people of Egypt, where you once lived, or of the people in the land of Canaan, where I am now talking to you. Obey my laws and do what I command. I am the Lord, your God. Follow the practices and the laws that I give you, and you will save your life by doing so. I am the Lord. Anyway, Leviticus 18. If you ever want to know where the Christian hard right stands on sexual practices, that's where you find all their rules. And let's just go Leviticus 18:22. No man is to have sexual relations with another man. God hates that. Okay, recently finished this book. It's called Breaking the Spell by a man named Daniel C. Dennett. Okay, very good book. And I was also reading this at the same time I was watching all those conspiracy theory videos on YouTube. So it went hand in hand with what I was actually reading. Okay, it talks about religion being inbred in our mind, kind of like how we have a left side of the mind which reads language, and we got the back part of our brain where's our fear center, and our optic centers back here, and forethought. Anyway, what he goes to talk about, he just basically asks the question, is there a part of the human brain which requires religion? Are we born with a sense that we need to follow or we need to worship? Anyway, I'm not going to read this whole book to you, but I am going to ruin it for you, because I'm going to read basically the last 3 paragraphs out of this book. There were Marxists working very hard to bring about the revolution, and it was comforting to them to believe that their success was guaranteed in the long run. And some of them, the only ones that were really dangerous, believed so firmly in the righteousness of their cause that they believed it was permissible to lie and deceive in order to further it. They even taught this to their children from infancy. These are the red diaper babies, children of hardline members of the Communist Party of America, and some of them can still be found infecting the atmosphere of political action in left-wing circles, to the extreme frustration and annoyance of honest socialists and others on the left. Okay? Today we have a similar phenomenon brewing on the religious right. The inevitability of the end days, or rapture, the coming Armageddon that will separate the blessed from the damned in the final day of judgment. Cults and prophets proclaiming the imminent end of the world have been with us for several millennia, and it has been another sour sort of fun to ridicule them the morning after, when they discover that their calculations were a little off. But just as with the Marxists, there are some among them who are working hard to hasten the inevitable, not merely anticipating the end days with joy in their hearts, but taking political action to bring about the conditions they think are the prerequisites for the occasion. And these people are not funny at all. They are dangerous for the same reason that red diaper babies are dangerous. They put their allegiance to their creed ahead of the commitment to democracy, to peace, to earthly justice, and to truth. If push comes to shove, some of them are prepared to lie and even kill to do whatever it takes to help bring what they consider celestial justice to those they consider sinners. Are they a lunatic fringe? They are certainly dangerous, out of touch with reality, but it is hard to know how many they are. Are their numbers growing? Apparently. Are they attempting to gain positions of power and influence in the governments of the world? Apparently. Should we know all about this phenomena? We certainly should. Basically, he makes the point. Yeah, they're out there. There's people on the hard left, and there's people on the hard right. And right now, it is not the left that threatens our society. It is this hard right. It is this ideology that if we push this war in Israel, we can actually make the fictitious story of Revelations come to true. Okay? Before I do go on, I just want to make one important point. My tobacco went out. Okay, now it's really difficult for me to explain to you what's going on with full honesty and as little prejudgment in my heart. I myself, I'm not the left wing, I'm not the right wing, I'm the whole friggin' bird, baby. Okay, now here we go. Now I know it is only hearsay, but it is my belief that even Adolf Hitler himself intended for the Jews to return to Israel. Not so much as a place to put them or a new, sweeter kind of imprisonment. No, this was all more about mind control. It was more about bringing the hard right to extreme power, to have all-encompassing power. And the one way to do that was through religion. If you could prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that one religion was more true than every other religion in the world, then you could sign up as many, new believers as possible. You could have the entire world convinced that your religion was the ultimate truth. And I'm not going to argue this. I'm not going to say, blah, 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 Hitler had this intention, Hitler had that intention. I wasn't born, I wasn't alive. I mean, I'm only going with what the spirits are telling me. Okay? And they're telling me to look in certain places. Dig around and scramble. Stop sitting on fences. It's so profound what we gamble. Okay? Real world, one world. Hitler himself was in fact a Jew. Now this comes from Explaining Hitler by Ron Robertson. Okay? And it says, intensive investigation elicited the following information. Hitler's father was the illegitimate son of a woman by the name of Schleckelgerber from Leonding near Linz, who worked as a cook in Graz household. But the most extraordinary part of the story is this. When the cook Schleckelgerber, Adolf Hitler's grandmother, gave birth to her child, she was in the service with a Jewish family called Frankenberger on the behalf of his son. Then, about 19 years old, Frankenberger paid a maintenance allowance to Schleckelgerber from the time of the child's birth until his 14th year. For a number of years, too, the Frankenbergers and Hitler's grandmother wrote to each other. The general tenor of the correspondence betraying on both sides the tacit acknowledgement that Schleckelgerber's illegitimate child had been engineered under circumstances which made the Frankenbergers responsible for its maintenance. Hence, the possibility cannot be dismissed that Hitler's father was half Jewish as a result of the extramarital relationship between the Schleckelgerber woman and the Jew from Graz. This would mean that Hitler was 1/4 Jewish. Now, I'm about 1/64th Mi'kmaq Indian, alright? Hence I smoke tobacco before I read you this stuff because I know the spirits will protect me on this. I would almost want to cause a complete revolution in Canada just so that the Aboriginal people of this country can have full rights. Now, if Hitler himself was 1/4 Jewish, there might have been a little bit of ancestral pride there, and at the time of the Nazi occupation of France, the Palestinians had full control of Israel. Now, if you were 1/4 Jewish, and you notice that a bunch of, Arabs, Muslims, controlled your ancestral home, what would you do? Onward and forward. Now, this whole Illuminati thing that has recently been born into a lot of people's minds, because a lot of people didn't even know about the Illuminati. Why? They're a secret frigging society, people. Secret societies don't like to be ratted out. Hey, now this comes out of the book Secret Societies, written by a man named David V. Barrett. Okay? David B. Barrett explains the Illuminati, and I'm just going to read you this one little scripture here. In the same year as the American Declaration of Independence, the Order of Perfectibilists was founded in Bavaria in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt. It soon became known as the Enlightened or the Illuminati. Its declared aim was to abolish monarchies, abolish the clergy, abolish private ownership, and set up a utopian state where all men were equal and free, and lived by something similar to the Rosicrucian ideals, i.e., individual spiritual wisdom. Okay? Social reform had always been seen as a natural and desired outcome of esoteric spiritual development. With the Illuminati, it came center stage. Membership was by invitation only. Branches of the Illuminati sprang up throughout Europe, sometimes based on existing Masonic lodges. Weishaupt joined the Masons in 1777. They were too revolutionary for the authorities. Within 10 years, both the Illuminati and the Freemasonry had been banned in Bavaria, and Weishaupt, a university professor, had been sacked. It is commonly asserted by conspiracy theorists, though as so often with no hard evidence, that the Illuminati went underground, that they resurfaced from time to time under assorted names, or as a hidden power behind other groups, and that they continued to have political influence throughout the next 2 centuries. It has been said that whether or not the Illuminati actually have exercised such influence through the years, the belief that they have means that in reality they have. Okay? Now this book is full of, it's history. It's a history of secret societies. I mean, it doesn't point the fingers to any one person who's alive today, as some of the videos on YouTube have. He was a political head. If you look at what he was up to, while other people were up to different things, Mr. George Bush was a very, very busy man. Hello. Good Sunday. It is February the 10th, 2008.